My people was good. We back, man. MindOfReese with another half and half review. You know how the half and half review works at this point. If you're new to the channel, first of all, make sure you subscribe by the end of the video, whether you like it or not, just to support your boy, you feel me? But if you're not new and you're a listener and you've watched my half and half reviews before, you know how they work. Half regular movie review with no spoilers, half spoilers. So, this time we will be reviewing Space Jam: A New Legacy starring LeBron James, Bugs Bunny, and the rest of the Looney Tunes, and Don Cheadle. Obviously, if you have not seen the movie and you just want to get somebody's opinion, first of all, I don't know why you would want my opinion. There's plenty of other movie critics on YouTube that actually know what the hell they're talking about, but I'm flattered regardless. But still, if you have not seen the movie and you're just here for a review, you want to watch the first half, that's cool. I will give you a warning when we get to the spoiler section. So I will not spoil you from... Who gets spoiled from Space Jam? Let's be honest. What can I say about this movie that's going to be like, oh, it's a spoiler? But for the sake of etiquette, I won't spoil anything. But this won't be too long. It's not much to talk about. Obviously, it's unavoidable. I'm going to be comparing the two. By the end of the video, you know, you'll have a clear understanding of how I feel about the two films compared to each other. But let's get into the review, man. Let's Jesus Christ, let's get this started. The plot of Space Jam, the first one was, there was a plot, but was there really? It really didn't make any sense. Like, the guy wanted the freaking Looney Tunes they had to play a game of basketball. If the Looney Tunes lost, they had to work for some amusement park for the rest of their lives. They said, hey, let's get Michael Jordan to help us win this basketball game that they chose to play after the Monstars went and stole NBA players' abilities. Yeah, that's a plot, but this one is much better. Algae Rhythm, played by Don Cheadle, is an algorithm for Warner Brothers. He kidnaps LeBron James for specific reasons. LeBron James and his son holds his son captive and tells LeBron, we're going to play a game of basketball. And if you win, you and your son, you get to leave the serververse, which is basically a WB server. It's where everything in the WB world exists. Game of Thrones, DC, Harry Potter, The Matrix, obviously the Looney Tunes, everything, man. Anything you can think of. Any movie, TV show, cartoon that's ever been produced or created by Warner Brothers lives in the serververse. And this is where Algae Rhythm lives. He basically controls all of this. He kidnaps LeBron, tells him he has to win the basketball game, obviously, and he sends him down to Toon World. Now, Toon World is not what you remember. It's, how do I say deserted? It's deserted. If you saw clips on social media, you saw clips of like they had Granny in the Matrix and stuff like that. I was worried about that going into the movie. Like, why are they just shoving references from old films in this movie where the demographic audience for this film won't really understand these references? They made it, I don't want to say they made it work, but they made a reason for them to be there. It didn't just happen. I still don't know how I felt about it, but it didn't last long. It was quick. So it was like really early in the film, quick, got in, got out. So it didn't really have that much impact on the film. It's a lot of references in this film, whether it be to Warner Brothers properties, the old Space Jam film, basketball, really a lot of NBA references, like even old ones that, you know, only people my age and older will understand. Let's talk about LeBron's acting. LeBron is not expected to be some great actor. He's a basketball player. He's been in a movie before. He was in Trainwreck. Did a decent job, but obviously he's not an actor. Bad acting in the film, absolutely. Michael Jordan's acting was even worse. I will notice something I noticed. In the beginning of the film, LeBron's acting was so god-awful. I don't know if he got better as the film went along or if the acting in the beginning was so bad it could only go up. Like, it was the worst it could have gotten. It's one or the other. I'm not sure which one. Regardless, I'm glad it did get better. Another thing to compare Space Jam and this new one with LeBron, this film had heart. It had a message, which, was cool. It's a message for kids. It's a message for parents. Parents, hey, try to back off your kids. Allow your kids to do their thing. Kids, hey, if you have a dream, follow it. If this is what you want to do it. Don't allow your parents to dictate what you want to do in your life, because at the end of the day, it's your life you have to live, not theirs. It's a great message, especially for a kids film. Now, obviously, kids are going to go see it. Parents are going to take their kids to go see it. So great message. Kudos to them for actually putting something like that in the movie. A lot of times it got corny for me, but I'm older, so I don't have children, so obviously the message isn't gonna directly affect me. But I don't know what the heart in this film was lacking. The first Space Jam, neither one of these movies are cinematic masterpieces. And neither one of them are really that great. They aren't really that good. But the original Space Jam had a lot of heart. It had a lot of memorable moments. It's like you can watch that movie and there's still memorable moments from that movie you remember. I don't feel like there were a lot of memorable moments in this film. And it's not even because it's a kid's film. It's not me being older or, being blinded by nostalgia. It's just really, it's not a lot of memorable moments in this film. It lacks a lot of heart, even with the message. There's moments between LeBron and the Looney Tunes that's cool, but it's nothing really like, I really love that. Like the original Space Jam. Like moments during the basketball game in the original Space Jam that were fantastic. When Elmer Fudd and, Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam were dressed up like the Men in Black or something like that. No, it wasn't the Men in Black. It was someone, but it was funny. Moments like that, man. This didn't have too many moments, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. But one thing I will say, LeBron's acting was better than Jordan's, but Jordan's charisma, oh my God, this sounds crazy because Jordan was god awful in that movie, but something about Jordan's charisma in that film popped and made up for his god awful acting. LeBron felt like he was trying to be charismatic in this film, but wasn't. And it's crazy because LeBron is naturally a charismatic guy. But I guess when you have to portray or play a charismatic character, it doesn't come off as natural. So it didn't feel as good, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, tell me. I won't care, but tell me. So I'm going to talk about the basketball game portion. The basketball game portion of the film was, I don't know how to describe it. I hate to do this and keep comparing them, but it's gonna happen. It was cool. It didn't last too long. That's a good thing, honestly. It did not last too long. Like I said, it didn't have the moments like the first one did. I can't get into that until I get into the spoilers. I'm gonna save the game for the spoilers. Even though no one probably cares, but just in case, like I said, to have movie etiquette, I won't just spoil it for you. So the Looney Tunes were fun in this, obviously. The Looney Tunes are always fun. You had Bugs, you had the gang, obviously Peppy, but P wasn't there, as everybody knows. But this did feel like Warner Brothers made this to freaking promote HBO Max. Like, oh, look at all the properties we have. We got Game of Thrones, Iron Giant, all of this DC stuff, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all this stuff, Footstones, all that, Jetsons, Animaniacs, all that. And it felt like, this was to promote that. And I get it. But And to be honest, they kind of set it up in the beginning. Well, not the very beginning of the film, but early on in the film, before he even goes to the serververse, they set it up like, hey, well, we wanted you to do this anyway. You said no, and guess what? Now you're doing it anyway. So, I mean, it felt like a commercial, but most of the movie wasn't based on that. So, that was a worry of mine going in, that this is just going to be a bunch of Warner Brothers properties promoted by Space Jam. Not an actual Space Jam movie, but it was a Space Jam movie. It's really not much to say about this. Comparing the two, like I said, LeBron's acting was better than Jordan's, which is not saying much. The bar is low. This movie didn't have the moments and heart that the original one had. This one had a much better plot than the original one had. This one had a message. The original one really, well, not necessarily true. The original one kind of had a message. It just wasn't, how can I say, as essential to the plot as this one was. There was a message in the first one with Jordan and his kids, and him spending time with his kids and stuff, and working too hard, I guess. But the plot in this one was literally essential to the plot, so it was front and center the entire movie. If I had to rate this, like I said, I rate it God tier. This movie's good. Mid tier is aight. This movie's ass. This movie gets it's aight. It's aight. I'm not gonna say this movie's ass. I know a lot of people online are saying this is trash. There were a lot of moments in the film where I laughed and enjoyed myself. And really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Whether it's a kid's film, whether it's an adult film, I enjoyed myself. Is it a good movie? No, but I wasn't coming into this with high expectations of a cinematic masterpiece or even a very good film. If it turned out to be a very good film, I would have been like, okay, cool. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright. It's not very good, but it's alright. And that's what I was expecting, and they delivered on that. So you should, if you're a fan of the first Space Jam, obviously go see this one. If you're curious about it, like I said, I always tell people to go see movies anyway to form your own opinion. But like I said, it's alright. Just don't go into this with high expectations of something great. That's all. And erase the original Space Jam from your mind and just enjoy this for what it is. It's not a sequel. It's a reboot. It's literally not a sequel. Which transitions directly into the spoilers. So 5 seconds. I'm about to spoil Space Jam, if that's possible. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This, in the world this movie exists in, Space Jam is a movie. If you catch it, when LeBron goes to visit Warner Brothers, you see the Space Jam poster. When he goes and talks to the Looney Tunes, they're like, yeah, been there, done that, played with a basketball player, whatever. This sounds familiar. Obviously, they're in the serververse, it was part of the movie. So Space Jam is a movie in that universe. It's real life. Not real life, you know what I mean. The universe they're in is real life. Space Jam was a movie. So, no, Michael Jordan is not in this movie. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is not in this movie. There is a Michael Jordan in this movie. That was a bad joke. And I'm talking about the film, not me. I didn't tell a joke. I'm telling you the truth. In the middle of the game at halftime, they're trying to give a speech, and Sylvester is like, I don't know if this is a trick, but I found Michael Jordan. I found him. They're like, oh, his airness? I can hear his sneakers. And it's Michael B. Jordan. Yes, Michael B. Jordan. And Daffy Duck says, you couldn't find Michael A. Jordan, so you got us Michael B. Jordan. Come on, bro. Elmer Fudd was Mini-Me. Right? Get it? A lot of, I think Yosemite Sam was in Casablanca. Foghorn Leghorn was in Game of Thrones. It was all over the place. But like I said, it was quick. It happened quick. They got in, they got out. It was done. So the movie's good, man. Like I said, there's a nice message about parenting in it. I talked about that already. There's not many spoilers in the film to talk about. Some nice cameos from actors you wouldn't expect. Stephen Yeun, who played Glenn on The Walking Dead. Sarah Silverman is in it. Lil Rel Howery's in it. He commentates the basketball game with Ernie Johnson, who's in it. That's really it, bro. Like I said, Space Jam: A New Legacy is I give it an I rating. If you saw Space Jam: A New Legacy, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you know when the next half and half review is coming out. Check out some of the reactions on the page, some of the past videos, especially if you're a basketball fan. I got some basketball content up. Until the next review, until the next video, until the next time, that's all, folks.